Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jules, here for WhatCulture.com, joined by Scott Telford. And if we're together, it can mean only one thing. It's time to hit some news, so hit that jingle and hit Scott in the face.
Hot dang, there's news, give it all you got. I guess it's time for Jules and Scott.
And we're back in the room, and today we're talking about loot boxes. Oh, how we've missed thee. But specifically, we're talking about 2K and their approach to their predatory loot box system.
Well, so you might remember the big old kerfuff around Battlefront 2 and how it was...
Not at all, mate.
Well, it was a bit of a thing.
I don't remember doing any videos on them.
You know Star Wars? That was a thing back last year, not anymore. But there was a big old kerfuffle around Battlefront 2, the microtransactions, the loot boxes, the blind boxes, the general mentality in that game. Got it labelled a child's gambling casino, a gambling casino for kids by a Hawaiian mayor. Basically, it blew up and all the eyes were on the implementation of loot boxes and all that kind of thing. And the Belgian government, their Belgian Gaming Commission, actually ruled them illegal, which meant that any games released in Belgium going forward were going to have specific things done to them to remove the loot box aspect.
So you just had 2018 in a nutshell, thank you very much. Yeah, so
that's gaming,
now 2K has stepped up to the plate because they're doing some shenanigans right
Which is hilarious because obviously it impacts their bottom line pretty severely. And 2K have been one of the first people to put an official statement out, literally asking fans to get in touch with their local government representatives.
To say that it's not...
To request loot boxes and blind boxes back.
Well, they put it out saying that it's essential and it's unfortunately a part of the gaming industry. But the issue is that it's not. Now, this isn't to have a go specifically at 2K because there are other developers that are trying this sort of shady practice of just saying, look, we want to keep loot boxes in, but we're trying to make it seem that they are a mandatory and essential part of our game. But you can look to places like God of War. You can look to things that going on in Nintendo that are offering free updates, free supports, and cosmetic things, but they aren't loot box and they're not randomized. You buy what you want, you get what you pay for. The 2K is definitely staying in that, and it's very much in talking about the NBA game that's coming out tomorrow. And it's to do with that really, because they're saying that they're going to randomize what character things you can get, what skill points you can get, what aesthetic stuff you can get, and they're just saying that we want to keep this in and we want to make as much money as possible.
They said that you can still unlock all the stuff that you would purchase.
But that's what they said with Street Fighter 5. It's technically true.
I mean,
it's a paywall so ramped up that you are just like you're not forced to, but if you want to.
It's a pay assault course.
It is, yes.
Get your way all the way through. But I mean, that's the thing. Different developers have to figure out different ways to make it more, I don't know, plausible or just something that doesn't feel money grubby. And their response has been, well, maybe we can get the community back on board. And then, imagine a community that's vying to have their money taken away on random.
The thing is that I actually quite like some of the games that 2K put out. However, I'm just going to say for the record, read the room. Read the room and your audience. You really think that people are going to stand up and defend loot boxes after they've been absolutely dragged through the mud? The fact that you even called them loot boxes in your official press statement was an absolute killer. You should have renamed it in some way, because that is unfortunately now a poisoned chalice that anyone who actually looks at will just think immediately that is a bad thing.
It's weird. I mean, if you're on their side, obviously the business reality of loot boxes, blind boxes, is that they make an exorbitant, ridiculous amount of money, because a lot of people like dropping 50 pence a pound, whatever it is, to get a nice little roll of the dice. It's a satisfying gambling style mechanic. You can look into the psychology of it if you want. It is a fun thing to do. But it's a weird line that they've kind of overstepped. Like I said, when they're trying to make it a PR move to make loot box for the people, and it's just like, no, it's the most benefits the company, the corporate side, way more than the consumer, unless you really love random drops.
Do you know what the funny thing was? Is that out of all of that, they actually made it, they tried to spin it that it was, like you say, for the people, yet they offered no recompense for anyone who was to be involved with it. So say that you did actually get in touch with the local government, you did say, I want to have loot box, you did that. What's the kickback for you as the consumer?
Plus 5 XP.
That you actually get to, you get to pay them more. It's like, you should, I tell you what, if 2K were being smart about this, if they were to use any sense at all, they would have been like, do it, get it signed, and we'll give away 1 million free loot boxes. Do an incentive.
Free copy or something.
Yeah, do an incentive rather than just be like, do it for the sake of giving your money to us.
The only other thing as well is that in China, their laws changed as well, which meant that Blizzard had to you had to declare what Overwatch's drop rates were. So it's not even like they're asking for a middle ground on 2K's part. They're not saying like, oh, well, can we be allowed to put loot boxes in, but we'll tell you what your chances are. It's just like, well, can you just lobby to get the original system back in, which is the one that most people don't like.
Yeah, but there we go. I mean, where do you fall on this side of the coin? Are you happy with this? Are you going to support this for loot box power to the people, or are you going to go, no, thank you, I'd rather actually not gamble?
Have a full game.
Yeah, exactly. So let's know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. But before we before you go, swing over to Twitter and follow me at RetroJ with a 0.
And at /LP89.
Thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been Jules.
It's Scott.
You've been awesome, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.